I had no idea that Angel Reese didn't even bother to show up. Did not show up to support her teammates. It was that unimportant, but yet took a victory lap that you won a championship? You got to be joking.
Angel Reese beating her shit. What y'all gonna say now? Now that I have this unrivaled championship that I didn't even think to attend. She went to LeBron James's youngest son's high school state championship game. If this championship mattered, she would show up. She could have.
Angel Reese didn't even bother to show up to support her teammates. It was that unimportant. Yet she took a victory lap as if she had won a championship. She went to LeBron James's youngest son's high school state championship game instead. If this championship had mattered, she would have been there. Angel Reese just got exposed, and the internet isn't letting her get away with it. The so-called championship she's being hyped up for turns out to be one she didn't even show up for during the playoffs. While her teammates were grinding and battling for a title, Reese was nowhere to be found. That didn't stop the media from propping her up like she was the MVP of the whole thing. Angel Reese is a champion in the Unrivaled League, which virtually no one watched. People took to social media, pointing out her accomplishments. A national championship at LSU, being the rebounding queen of the WNBA, and now being the defensive player of the year in the Unrivaled League. The question is whether this is really a championship worth celebrating or just another example of the media creating a narrative that doesn't line up with reality. Angel Reese had full season 3-on-3 highlights, and fans hyped her up despite the circumstances. She didn't win MVP, but did win Defensive Player of the Year. The Unrivaled League was supposed to be a fresh, game-changing take on women's basketball, something new and exciting. Angel Reese was a member of the Rose, and they won the inaugural Unrivaled Championship last night. If someone wants to take a victory lap on that, they can, but the reality is that almost no one was paying attention. This so-called championship wasn't even a real 5-on-5 basketball game. It was a 3-on-3 tournament, a format that already struggles to get serious basketball fans interested. How important was this championship to Angel Reese? She didn't even attend the game. She was not in the building last night, but of course, the media wasted no time hyping it up like it was on par with an NCAA title or a WNBA championship. Reese's team, the Rose, faced final in the final game, a matchup that nobody was talking about. Unlike actual professional leagues with millions of viewers and real stakes, this tournament came and went with barely a whisper. Even ESPN, which tried to give it some coverage, couldn't make it seem like a big deal. Angel Reese found everything else more important than being at the location and supporting her teammates. Why is it just in women's basketball that we see athletes acting like this? The only reason people are talking about this now is because of the hilarious controversy surrounding Angel Reese's so-called championship moment. She wasn't even there while her teammates fought for the title. Reese was missing, not just from the championship game, but from the last 2 games of the playoffs. That didn't stop her from acting like she was the one who carried the team. Instead of actually being there to support or contribute, she literally FaceTimed into the post-game celebration. If this was such a major career achievement for her, wouldn't she have actually played in the game? Imagine Caitlinclark, Aya Wilson, or Breanna Stewart missing a championship game and still expecting to be celebrated as if they had done something. It wouldn't happen. ESPN covered the championship, and Chelsea Gray scored over 30 points in the final game. Meanwhile, Angel Reese added this title to her trophy case despite not playing in the last 2 games. Social media rushed in to protect her narrative, with supporters listing all her past accomplishments as if this random 3-on-3 tournament win was as meaningful as her LSU title or her WNBA stats. The reality is that this was manufactured hype. If this win actually mattered, Reese would have been on the court leading her team, not sitting at home FaceTiming like a fan. The truth is that the media is desperate to create a superstar out of her, even when the facts don't support it. When you take a closer look, it's obvious that this championship is more smoke and mirrors than an actual accomplishment. Reese found this championship so important that she decided not to diminish its greatness by attending the game and rooting for her teammates, instead opting to FaceTime in. No one wanted a 3-on-3 full-court women's basketball league, and no one paid attention to this. Social media ran with the narrative and pretended that Angel Reese had just accomplished something important. This isn't the first time we've seen the media bend over backward to push Angel Reese as the face of women's basketball. The Unrivaled League Championship is just the latest example of forcing a narrative that doesn't hold up. Even though the tournament barely made a dent in the sports world, ESPN and other media outlets jumped on it, plastering Reese's name all over headlines despite her not playing in the final 2 games. They're building up a narrative that Angel Reese is one of the great athletes of our lifetime. Right there with Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. She has a championship at LSU. And now, she has a championship in the Unrivaled League. A player skips the most important games of a championship and still gets credited as if they were a key part of the team's success. In any other sport, if a player sits out the deciding game, they don't get the same level of respect as the ones who actually played. But with Angel Reese, the media rewrites the rules. This wasn't some elite-level tournament with top-tier competition. It was a brand-new 3-on-3 league with barely any star power. The biggest names in the WNBA, Aya Wilson, Kelsey Plum, and Caitlinclark, weren't even in it. Even Sabrina Ionescu, who was originally involved, backed out early because she knew this wasn't real professional basketball. Social media pretended to care about the Unrivaled League more than Angel Reese herself. She got caught in the middle of one of the most embarrassing championship celebrations ever. While her teammates were actually competing for the trophy, Reese was nowhere to be found. That didn't stop the media hype train from acting like she just pulled off the greatest championship run in basketball history. The funniest part is that the Rose played better without her in the championship game. Chelsea Gray stepped up and delivered an incredible performance. Some fans even pointed out that the team looked more cohesive and fluid once Reese was out of the lineup. Instead of admitting that Reese's absence didn't hurt the team, the media continued pushing the illusion that she was the heart and soul of this victory. Then came the most absurd part, Reese herself feeding into the hype. She took to Twitter, posting cryptic messages like, "What y'all going to say now?" as if she had just silenced her critics. What exactly was she proving? That a team she wasn't even on the court for could win without her? That FaceTiming into a post-game celebration is now the same as actually competing? This moment highlights the ongoing issue with how Angel Reese is marketed. Instead of letting her actual play define her, the media and her fans constantly inflate her legacy with artificial accomplishments. If she truly wants to be seen as an all-time great, she needs to prove it on the court, not through Twitter posts, media hype, or by claiming a championship she didn't earn. Real champions show up when it matters. They rise to the occasion, take ownership of their team's success, and let their performance speak. For itself, Angel Reese had a golden opportunity to do just that, but instead, she took the easy way out celebrating a title. She had no role in winning. The media can keep pushing whatever narrative they want, but the facts remain. This so-called championship was meaningless, and it does. Absolutely nothing to change the reality that Reese still has a lot to prove. The Unrivaled League Championship, it was nothing more than an overhyped exhibition that barely registered in the sports world. And yet here we are watching Reese soak up the spotlight for a title. She didn't even compete for. The media wasted no time spinning this as a monumental moment in her career. But the facts don't lie. She missed the final 2 games. She wasn't there when her team sealed the victory, and yet somehow she's still acting like. This is a defining milestone. Caitlinclark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlinclark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 105% compared to games without her, while road games featuring her Indiana Fever. Seeing 87% increase in opponent home attendance. Her rookie debut sparked a staggering 200% jump in WNBA viewership, while Faye home games drew a league-high 186,000 fans last season, a 265 increase from 20,123. But real basketball fans aren't falling for it. They know what true champions look like. Champions don't sit on the sidelines and FaceTime into their own celebrations. They fight